see you.
Avatar: Fire and Ash is now streaming on Disney+. It's the film critics are calling the best Avatar yet.
Yeah! Go, 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 go!
A true epic and completely jaw-dropping.
This is the only pure thing in this world.
Return to Pandora on Disney+.
It will be an adventure for the whole family.
And watch the Oscar-winning phenomenon at home.
This is sick!
Avatar: Fire and Ash, now streaming on Disney+. Rated PG-13.
When you need to build up your team to handle the growing chaos at work, use Indeed Sponsored Jobs. It gives your job post the boost it needs to be seen and helps reach people with the right skills, certifications, and more. Spend less time searching and more time actually interviewing candidates who check all your boxes. Listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. That's Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Need a hiring hero? This is a job for Indeed Sponsored Jobs.
Study and play come together on a Windows 11 PC. And for a limited time, college students get the best of both worlds. Get the Unreal College Deal. Everything you need to study and play with select Windows 11 PCs. Eligible students get a year of Microsoft 365 Premium and a year of Xbox Game Pass Ultimate with a custom color Xbox wireless controller. Learn more at windows.com/student offer. While supplies last. Ends June 30th. Terms at aka.ms/collegepc.
Mornings have a rhythm. You can hear it, feel it. And at Quaker, we fuel it. With 100% whole grain oats and a good source of fiber in every bowl, helping you turn that rhythm into your soundtrack for a great day. Fuel to start whatever's next. Quaker, official sponsor of FIFA World Cup 26.
Let's go! Let's go!
This episode is brought to you by Redfin. You're listening to a podcast, which means you're probably multitasking. Maybe even scrolling home listings on Redfin, saving homes without expecting to get them. But Redfin isn't just built for endless browsing. It's built to help you find and own a home. With agents who close twice as many deals, when you find the one, you've got a real shot at getting it. Get started at redfin.com. Own the dream.
I'm flying solo on this recap today because I have been traveling and got lots of life stuff, kind of moving parts going on. So haven't had the time to lock in a guest. We do have a great guest coming on next week. I don't want to once again reveal who it is yet because I want to make sure that they show up. We actually got 2 great guests coming next week. So lots of things to look forward to. But today I'm flying solo. I know you guys like it when I do solo recordings as well. So just throw in some of these in the mix. Reminder, if you want an early access version of this, do check out the Dumpster Dive Patreon at patreon.com/dumpsterdivepod. And for video, check out youtube.com/dumpsterdivepod. Yeah. So today, Atlanta. I had a great time. I'm loving Atlanta. This season is so much fun. I continue to laugh out loud. And these ladies bring me a lot of joy. And I saw someone chatting online about how because Threads is the app that I'm using, primarily to communicate with the peoples. And on Threads, there's just not a lot of conversation being had around the Housewives of Atlanta. And so it makes me bummed. But then I also remember that their ratings are great. And there's a whole plethora of people that don't engage in all of the same online circles that I do that love this show. And I love to see that people love this show because I love this show. I think they carry humor better than some of the Salt Lake City episodes, to be honest with you. And Salt Lake City, here's the thing. I love Salt Lake City. I can't wait to recap it when it's back. It's, at this point, the golden franchise of Bravo. But I do think some of those ladies aren't as naturally gifted in the art of comedy, where sometimes with them, we're more pointing and laughing at them, where with these ladies, we're laughing with them because they just are absolutely hilarious. So yeah, this episode we got a lot of interstitial scenes as we head into this big cast trip to Scotland. Which, by the way, if they're gonna be in Scotland, okay, so if this episode premiered on Sunday. Next week, they're in Scotland. The week after, they're in Scotland. And probably the week after that. So we won't cross paths, but I will be in Scotland in July. I have never been to Scotland. I'm so excited. I'm going to London and to Scotland. Speaking of London, though, oh my gosh, guys, Ladies of London got canceled. They're saying put on pause, but y'all, put on pause. Can we release put on pause? Nothing is being paused. Dorinda was paused and never returned to the Real Housewives of New York City. It's not a pause. It's a fire. You got fired. And maybe this is hitting too close to home because I got fired this week. I'm not kidding, actually. I'm not kidding. It's not a pause. It's not a pause. No, I did get laid off from my job this week. I won't speak too much on it because obviously there's personal and professional things that need to not be always on the mic. But maybe that's why I'm reacting so negatively to things being put on pause. Because I was put on pause. It wasn't a pause, though. And if someone had told me it was a pause, I probably would have believed them. As the same way Bravo has made Dorinda believe it was a pause. The same way the Ladies of London cast probably believed. The idea that Martha Sitwell is sitting in East London or wherever she lives, Kensington, and not being filmed for a reality television show is sick. Sick. It was a fantastic show. And I guess they're moving Ladies of London to Bravo because Real Housewives of London, which was a Hayu original, is now being moved to Bravo. The first season is dropping on Peacock sometime in the next couple weeks, or maybe it already has. And then I think the season 2 of Real Housewives of London will be a Bravo show. So that's the tea on that. I really need them to, if we're doing that, incorporate some of the Ladies of London cast into the Real Housewives of London. Martha must be with those ladies. Martha is a perfect reality TV star. I can't believe we just let her be a one-season wonder. But yeah, so that's some updates about my life and updates about the Ladies of London.
Get business done with the new American Express Graphite Business Cash Unlimited card. With unlimited 2% cash back on all eligible purchases. Unlimited 5% cash back on flights and prepaid hotels booked through American Express Travel Online. And a flexible spending capacity that can grow with your business. You'll have the confidence to keep building. Apply today and earn a welcome offer of $1,500 cash back after you spend $50,000 in qualifying purchases on your new card within the first 6 months of card membership. Terms apply. Learn more at go.amex/graphite.
El 2026 FIFA World Cup Meal llegó a McDonald's con 9 vasos legendarios. En el lineup tenemos Christian CP10 Pulisic, David Beckham, Lamine The Dream Yamal, Ronaldinho El Mago, Monsieur Titi Henry, Son Salih Heung-min, Alfonso Fonsi Davis, Santi Bebote Jiménez y en la portería el que no necesita apodo, Grimes.
Llévate uno de 9 vasos legendarios con el FIFA World Cup Meal. En McDonald's participantes solo por tiempo limitado, hasta agotar existencias.
Tomorrow morning is knocking. Stock your fridge now. How about a creamy mocha frappuccino drink? Or a sweet vanilla? Smooth caramel maybe? Or a white chocolate mocha? Whichever you choose, delicious coffee awaits. Find Starbucks Frappuccino drinks wherever you buy your groceries.
This summer, soccer is here. And so are the watch parties. And Uber Eats has your game day essentials covered with 30% off orders from Aldi, Kroger, and Dollar General. Everything you need to keep your crowd happy, delivered straight to your door. Chips, dips, fresh ingredients, and more. Order in so you can lock in for the games. 30% off your grocery order, only on Uber Eats for a limited time.
We laugh so we don't cry. Let's get into this episode of Atlanta. So we have Angela and Cynthia. They're planning the Bailey Bowl. I remember the Bailey Bowl happening. Essentially, it's just like field day with the cast, and it's a fundraiser. This one is a fundraiser for Angela's mom's charity. I'm not sure. There were some details in there that I wasn't quite catching, but they are co-hosting it. We get the scene with Portia and her mom, and her mom looks absolutely gorgeous. Every season her mom is on, she looks even more beautiful than the last time she was on our screens, and this is no exception. she also has this like hilarious moment where Portia's like, "Mom, you look like a painting," and then she leans over and just is like, and Bravo like adds these effects to it. I actually laughed out loud. And Portia reveals that her and Phaedra are planning a trip to Scotland. We then get this scene with Kelli, where she shows up. Kelli is one of the bravest we have. She is one of the bravest women we have. She showed up in full glam to reveal the ins and outs of her finances with Mr. Johnny, financial advisor. And he, introduces himself, and he's like, "Kelli, it's so nice to meet you." And she's like, "You can call me Miss Potter." I'm like, okay, Kelli, let's pull back on. Let's relax just a little bit on that. Okay. And they go through what's coming in and out of that bank. So it is revealed that she spends $2,500 a month on makeup, $3,000 a month on hair, more than $8,500 a month on clothes, and that alone is like what? That's $14K. There's definitely more than that. They said there's something around $22K a month is what she would need to live off of. $22K a month is crazy when you live in a townhouse. Okay. Now, and here's the thing. We talked about this last week because Taria was talking about her townhouse, and I'm like, I want to clarify. Like, I would. Have you seen where I'm recording? I wish I could live in a townhouse. Well, what I'm saying to her though is like a townhouse. She's not living on a townhouse budget. She's living on a Shamia budget in this massive ass mansion, spending $8,500 a month on clothes. I'm sorry. If you are pinching pennies to figure out a housing situation that is nice enough for you and your family, I don't think you should be spending this much money on clothes, hair, and makeup. It stresses me out. But Kelli, it's an age-old trope on Housewives. I do think it's a part of the machine of Housewives, though, right? Because they talk about, we talked about this on the show before, but like, with like Wendy Osefo, she doubled down on so much work, so many clothes, so many stylings, so many makeups, so many glams, so many this, just to be sure that she could fit in with the Real Housewives. I don't think that she needs that. I think she's an absolutely gorgeous woman her first season. And it says the same thing to Kelli. It's like, I think you need to fit in because the series has this sheen of an overwhelming amount of wealth, when in reality, you do need that. But there are people on these shows that don't lean into that and have been on the shows for a long time. I mean, Gina Kirschneider, is that how you say her last name? She has nowhere near $22K a month worth on glam, but she's been on Housewives for like 8 seasons at this point, which, I mean, that's a whole other conversation to be had. Like, how is she still here? But, I just don't think you need to do all of this to fit in with this group. Kelli, you are a fun lull of a personality, and let that be what keeps you on this show. That's why I really liked her last season. This season, she's just, it's been a struggle. K. Michelle goes to the doctor, and she's revealed that she has had 15 asses between age 35 and now. Now, how old is K. Michelle is the question at hand. Let me look it up. How old is K. Michelle? She's 44. So in 9 years or 8 years, maybe when they were filming this, she has had 15 procedures on her ass. Once again, and you know what? It's definitely not like, I'm not the voice to be dissecting this totally. Like, I understand that it's completely different for women, and women have to do so much just to get in the door in certain places and environments, and I absolutely recognize that. So it does kind of break my heart that women think that they have to go through all these procedures just to be healthy and to look aesthetically pleasing to men. Because K. Michelle is a gorgeous woman. I mean, she was younger than 35 when she started filming Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, and she was absolutely gorgeous then. I just don't think she needs all of this. But at the same time, gender affirming care is real. And if this is going to make her feel more confident, she should do whatever it is that she wants to do. But it is also revealed that there's now this technology where they take fat instead of BBLs, where they take the fat from like your stomach and inject it into your ass. They're now outsourcing the fat, and it's allegedly completely above board, and injecting the fat into your ass. That's a lot for me. That's a lot. When you order that, what does it look like? You know what? Actually, I don't want to know. I'm just picturing like picking up your shipment of fat to put in your body. I don't know. I don't like that. Maybe I'm too pure. I'm too pure for this world. But she said that the ladies are stressing her out, and she says it's affecting her ass, which if it is affecting her ass, we need to do a whole science project on that. Next, we get this scene between Angela and Amari, and that's her daughter, Amari, and they're still chatting about this marriage situation, how Amari got married without really telling any of the family, and the younger kids still don't know that Amari is married. Angela is I have to say, I lulled when I saw who Angela's therapist was. Angela's therapist looks like a woman who creates her own kombucha in Vermont. I'm like, it was just not, and has been for 50 years. Like, this was just not who I thought was doing therapy in Atlanta. This like crunchy old white lady. So, but shout out to her. She seems to be doing some good work with Angela and Amari. And they did a couple sit downs throughout the episode trying to get to the bottom of everything. And this is what we were talking about when Ira was on, how something that we forget about Nene Leakes, right, is that Nene's impact has lived on through memes, because that's how we consume culture now, is in short forms and memes and reaction memes and internet culture. Like that's how we know when something is culturally impactful, as if it's reached memedom, you know? And Nene's impact extends for a lot of people only to memes. But what really she was doing on Housewives was living completely authentically herself on camera, and until maybe the end, but for the most part, completely herself on camera. And that's why America fell in love with her. That's why the world fell in love with her. And Angela is doing that here. Angela is not only a wonderful talking head, she's great when she's chatting with all the ladies. She'll film with anyone, she'll read anyone. She doesn't have strict alliances. And she's also sharing real things about her life. This is what we want in a housewife. These are the type of housewives that people gravitate towards, because everything feels so real and authentic, and you just buy into what Angela is selling. And I think there are a lot of women on this show who could probably take a note from that. I mean, sometimes I've said it before, I feel like Phaedra holds back a little bit on what it is that she wants to reveal, what she doesn't. And I understand being guarded, but I love to see Angela be so open with the viewers about her life and her finances and just what it's like to be Angela Oakley in Atlanta. And it's why she works. It's why she pops on the screen. These personal scenes mixed with the scenes of her reading the girls down. We also get Drew and Portia. They have fried chicken, green juice, and champagne. High low, baby. Healthy and not healthy. You got to mix it up. Sometimes when I have my salad, I go and get a Reese's after. I had a salad, I can get a Reese's. I had my green juice, I can eat fried chicken and champagne. That sounds delicious. So shout out to that spread. I would love to pull up a chair. And then Kelli, back to townhouse, back to the townhouse segment of Dumpster Dive. But Kelli is looking at yet another townhouse, and I said, not another townhouse, girl. Aren't you living in Shamia's townhouse right now? And now why are you looking at a townhouse that is $7,000 a month? Your budget is $4,000 a month. And her realtor is like, do you want me to be real with you? You got to start getting uncomfortable with how little you spend if you want to be in a good spot. Amari and we talked about that therapy session again, but a little more intel on Amari and Angela, though. They reveal that the reason they struggle connecting now is because they miss having their grandmother there, and she was kind of that bridge between the two of them in terms of communication. Then we get the Bailey Bowl. The Bailey Bowl is here, and y'all, the Bailey Bowl had me LOLing. I loved the Bailey Bowl. I want to go play in the Bailey Bowl. Can we do that? I want to go play in the Bailey Bowl. Wait, speaking of, can we take a hard left turn before we get into the Bailey Bowl? I talked about this on the Love Island episode, but I want to bring it up again here, just so those that don't listen to because some of you guys only listen to the Bravo episodes. I was in Asheville this past weekend, and so was West and Amanda. And I didn't see them. But the idea that I was breathing the same air as them, not in New York City, even though we both live in all three of us live in New York, but they were all together there, and they West and Amanda were together there for a wedding. And I couldn't believe that they were there while I was there. I was hoping they would be in my flight back. They weren't, because there's only 2 Delta flights out a day, and I'm sure they're Delta girlies. And I didn't get to lay eyes on them. But I if anyone has any intel on this Asheville wedding, I'm curious about where it was and what it was all about. I know I usually say that I don't like the surveilling of their lives, but I take that back in this instance because I was where they were, and I just kind of want to know what was going on. So anyways, a right turn back to Housewives of Atlanta, the Bailey Bowl. So every housewife gets a team, and they brought people from their life to be a part of the team, and they compete in different little challenges. So we got Team Chatty Patty, that is Pinky's team. Loved that read on her. We have Team Godfather, that's Phaedra, and with Phaedra is Trey, who I didn't know existed, Apollo's son. And then once that chyron went up that said, it said Phaedra's ex-husband's son, I was like, Phaedra's ex. I almost had a second. I was like, who is Phaedra's ex-husband? Because it's been so long. Apollo. Didn't know Apollo had a son who is sadly hot as hell. Is that okay to say? Is that okay to say? He's hot. Congrats to you. Congrats to you, Trey. You're doing some good things. And then we have Team Minion. Y'all, Kelly running around this rec center in knockoff Manolo Blahnik stilettos and a Old Navy black tight and a Bailey Bowl t-shirt was something that was just otherworldly. And she also had like those like chunky socks like underneath the stiletto. And Phaedra in her confessional was saying that like that's like all the whores used to wear that. All the streetwalkers used to wear that. Now, that really made me laugh. And seeing Kelly, you know, we spend so much time with Kelly in a cowboy shot. Cowboy shot meaning like this. Like this is like a cowboy shot. Like waist up, right? We spend a lot of time with Kelly waist up. We don't spend a lot of time in a full body, because I do think it's hard to capture her full body in the same frame as some of these other ladies. Because when we go wide, it legitimately is like, it's like this running around in the background. I mean, she is so little. And she even had the stilettos on. I don't know what the solution here is. Kelly, I've been hard on you today. And I've been hard on you last episode. And maybe for the whole season. But it comes out of a place of love, because I do think you're very funny. And I think you are fun for this show. But the styling, the styling is always a struggle for me. And she said she doesn't own tennis shoes. Get a tennis shoe. Get a tennis shoe. Please. Are you going to the grocery store in Old Navy tights and Manolo Blahniks and a big hoodie? It sounds kind of chic now that I say it sounds chic. So maybe I take it back. But she has been gifted the name Team Minion, which once again is hilarious based on the conversation that we were just having about how small she is. Then we have Team Blind Opposition, and that's Kay's team, which I lolled at them giving her Team Blind Opposition because Kay, I just like that they're like, you think we're all up your ass, and we no one here is looking for anything, which we have come to find out that is maybe not completely accurate. I like that. I do think she took this on the chin. I do think she took it on the chin and she had some fun with it, and I'm happy to see that. This is a good episode for Kay in terms of being with the ladies. I don't know if she had a talking to from production between last episode and this one, but it seems like she's willing to kind of keep it moving. And then we have Team Sasquatch, which is Shamia, because Shamia keeps calling out Angela's big ass feet, which y'all have heard what I have said before about the big ass feet conversation, and we venture into territory here, and you know what, Shamia, I'm happy you're getting called out for it. I mean, the other teams were Team Fanji, Team 50 Cent, and Team Go Naked Hair Care. Kenya more hair care. Kenya more hair care. I miss Kenya. Do you guys miss Kenya? Where are you at with that? I miss Kenya, and of course I miss Nene. I do think they both could come back. Kenya is such good reality TV, and I know she did something so bad, but so did Phaedra. I don't know. I just think we have revisionist history with some of the ladies and then not with others. And I just am kind of like, why not have them all back at this point? Have them all back. The world's on fire. So they compete, and you know, it is what it is. Kelly's running around bouncing a basketball, titties going like this in her little stilettos, just like meh. She's kind of she's giving Space Jam. She's giving one of the little aliens in Space Jam before they turn into the basketball players. Angela fell on the floor, and Charles didn't help her get up. I thought Charles in his ref shirt was actually really cute. I did really, really like that. Angela and Shamia come up after. So we kind of circle all the ladies around, and we start having conversations about the drama that's happening in the group. Angela versus Shamia comes up, and they're trying to clear the air, but they're just talking about how each of them have been coming for each other's marriages. And Angela is like, the only reason I came for your marriage was because you came for mine. And I have heard that you've been trying to sleep around with the basketball teams or the football teams, one of the sports teams in Atlanta, and Shamia's just not having it. But here's the thing. It is annoying that Shamia has all this heat for Angela and Charles when her man doesn't show up to film. Like, I'm sorry, I feel that he needs to be there. He doesn't show up to work. I mean, he's not getting paid, but she is. And Shamia has heat for Angela and her marriage. Shamia, we know nothing about your marriage. If your husband showed up and he was a delight, more. I mean, he seems nice, but I'm just saying, like, if he was like on the show all the time and he was a delight, I would come to your defense when Angela says these mean things, because like maybe there are rumors that were true on either side. But it feels like a fight that's really not worth fighting when your husband can't show up with a mic on. And Charles, who is famous, is everywhere. Which, by the way, I feel like we did not talk about this last time, but you know, the Knicks winning in New York has been amazing because the streets are just alive with energy, and it makes me so happy. And I love to see all those clips of Charles and Angela at that final game 5 down in Texas when the Knicks took it all. And she looks absolutely gorgeous, Angela. She looks gorge. And I think she did a Watch What Happens Live appearance last night, I think, or somewhere. She was somewhere, and she was back in that Knicks dress, that like bodycon dress that she had on. She is so gorgeous. I love Angela. And then it's also comes up back, the conversation with Angela and Shamia also comes back to Portia, because need we not forget, the reason this all happened was because all of the infighting between Shamia and Angela was because Angela was the bone collector in Shamia and Portia's relationship last season. The lapdog conversation comes up again, and Portia says, now whose lap is she on? I'm sick of my lap. These are the moments. These are the moments where we have to just tip our hat. We have to just tip our hat to Portia because she really is absolutely, absolutely perfect at reality TV. And then it also comes up the Kay and Shamia thing, how Shamia said out of the club after a couple lemon drop martinis that no one wants. Shamia said, no one wants me to be friends with you, Kay, because the streets don't like you. And that comes up. And so it just does kind of it just become a bit of a pile-on Shamia. And I don't really like pile-ons, but in this case, Shamia, like, you kind of set yourself up for this. Am I wrong? You kind of like teed this whole thing up because you have been gossiping, mixing, and mingling. And so, like, people just are going to come back at things with you. If you want to push story like this, if you want to be gossiping, if you want to be spreading marital lies, if you want to be saying people don't want to be your friend, if you want to be this, you have to expect that at some point that's all going to come back and bite you because you've just been talking to all these people. So I don't have a ton of sympathy for Shamia and how she's so upset here because I do think she's kind of instigated a lot of this drama to make a reality show when in reality, the drama that we really want to know about with you is your relationship with Portia. Why are you manifesting all these fights with these other ladies when there is a real friendship with you and Portia that is no longer, that is a much more interesting story than anything that goes on with you and the rest of this group? But the episode ends on that, and then next week we are heading to Scotland to promote The Traitors. Which, speaking of The Traitors, so I'm going to London in a couple weeks. And while I'm there, we are going to do the Traitors experience in London, where you play traitors with a group of strangers. Do you guys think I should be a traitor or a faithful? Like, I mean, I don't get to choose, I guess, but do you think that I would be better as a traitor or faithful? I think I would be better as a faithful. I think as a traitor, I'm not good at lying. I'm really not. I reveal my cards too quickly. I trust people too much. I just know that I would say something wrong. So, yeah. But I'm going to play. Let me know how you think I'll do. Also, a little programming note for everyone. I am going to be releasing some throwback recaps of Summer House later on this summer. After Love Island comes to a wrap, we are going to be diving back into Summer House, and we're going to do the COVID season of Summer House. The cadence at which those episodes are going to come out, I think I might be releasing just a bulk of them when I am away because I would love to keep content coming at y'all, but I'm not going to be in this country. And I don't want to bring my mic. I don't want to bring my mic to London and Scotland. I'm going to be gone for 10 days. Mama needs a break. But I'm going to make sure to get some of that work in beforehand so you guys have content. So start maybe queuing up some Summer House Season 5. That is the COVID season once again on your Peacock as your nighttime show because I am going to be diving into some of it. And I'm excited to do so. But guys, this was Real Housewives of Atlanta, kind of a mini recap this week. We will be back next week with a bigger recap with a very, very exciting guest. And I am excited to dive into the Scotland trip. Follow me at The Tom Hamlet on all of the platforms that you are on. And if you want a video version of this episode, subscribe to Dumpster Dive at youtube.com/dumpsterdivepod. And if you want an early access to this episode, that is patreon.com/dumpsterdivepod. I love you all. Thank you for being with me on this journey. I know I revealed some personal things today. More on that later. And my Venmo is also at The Tom Hamlet. I love you guys. Bye.